Welcome back to Four Titles, One Truth. Today's episode, we're going to talk about health after retirement.
That's right. No more morning physical fitness tests to prove we can meet the standards. But staying fit, that's still a very important part of my life.
It is. And as husbands, veterans, fathers, black men, health, it just can't be a hobby, especially at our age. It needs to be a part of our life.
No lies told there. Let's get into it. Okay, Tommie.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming you were an 8 to 10 on the scale of fitness before you retired.
I was a 10.
All right.
Don't be acting
Let
like
me finish.
talking about 8 to 10.
Let me finish. What would you rate yourself today?
Okay. I was a 10. Now I'd say I'm floating somewhere between the 5 and 6 range right now. On the cusp of 7. Yeah, I'm not talking about just strength. I'm talking about my cardio.
Okay.
And I'm comparing it to what I was in the military.
Okay.
If we're talking about a some-year-old man.
I mean, that's the thing, too. You got to look at what stage in your life. I mean, because that's, you got to look at what stage you were or at or what you're trying to compare it to.
Okay. All right. So if I'm talking about a retired soldier with 30 years in the daggone military, I would say I'm an 8.
Okay.
In there. I do cardio. I don't run like I used to. Mm-hmm. Now I just run hills. Then I don't do distance running, walk the dog, and I lift a minimum of 4 times a week.
Okay.
So I do that. So I would just say that my fitness has changed because of the reality of aging and the pains that I feel after the military. But that goes back to what you were saying about understanding that you're different now than you used to be.
Absolutely.
Because as soon as I retired and we moved down here to San Antonio, we got subscriptions to the gym.
Okay.
And, going in there and seeing them young jokers lifting all that weight, I was still in a mindset of, maintaining what I had always maintained, because lifting has been a huge part of my life for, I'll say, 25 of the 30 years I was in the military.
Right. Yep.
And
well, just part of your life, period.
Absolutely, yeah. And then I always used to feel like I had to be the strongest in the gym. Mm-hmm. And now, after more than 3 years retired, I'm starting to realize that I shouldn't have that mindset, because first off, it's impossible, because I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore. Nah. And then secondly, my body is not for that. So now I have, and we work out together sometimes. Now I go more for reps and try to maintain weight for my body, and also weight when I'm lifting, and not worried about trying to move the whole gym when I do.
I understand that.
So what about you?
I'm probably
assuming you were 8 to 10. No, go ahead.
I was a 10 when I was 23 when I came in, 22, 23 when I came in. Yeah. But probably a little different from your experience as far as doing a lot of the organized PT. We didn't do a lot of the being in the medical piece. Yeah. We didn't do a lot of the organized PT stuff every day. It was a lot more individual. Focus, So, I mean, it was so after the military, that part didn't really change too much, because I was used to working out myself. But as far as like when you're looking at the scale, I probably stay between a 7 and a 8 like yourself. I mean, and that's just because of injuries and just not feeling like doing something sometimes. And one day might turn into 3 days, as far as any of the lifting and stuff like that. So, but a very, very important part of, I mean, just that physical fitness, that working out and just staying healthy, because those two, the physical piece and the health piece, they go together. So
right. And for those that, like I said, this podcast, we try not to be so Army lingo focused. So when he's talking about formation, physical fitness, we call PT, for physical training.
Organized PT.
Right. When he's talking about formation versus individual, you got the individual part, but when you're in formation, specifically talk about my career, it was always at a platoon level, which was between 25 to 50 soldiers, or a company level, which would be between 110 to the largest company I was in was 270, right? And so every morning we'd have physical training with the mass formation, and sometimes we'd break down to the different levels, right, to smaller groups. But every morning we held accountability formation, and then after that we'd have physical training. And so with him being in the hospital, he didn't have to make those formations every day because they had actually hit times where they had to show up for work. So that's what he's referring to.
So when they would be at PT time, that's when we would be starting. We would be at work at 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Waking up, having breakfast.
In the operating room, anybody that has had surgery knows that your show up time is like at 6:30. So we have to be there before that.
So
we're going to keep it moving. We're going to keep rolling along.
All right. So how did your relationship with fitness and health change after your retirement? Because you specifically, you retired because of, you said what you were seeing with your health.
I mean, and the physical piece wasn't breaking me down so much as the health piece of it. So, okay. And I guess it did. I said it goes hand in hand. But not being able to do some of the working out as long as I would normally do, because it was just stress and just getting older in life. So that piece changed because I'm not dealing with that that piece of the of the stress and not having time to work out and do things like I did. So
honestly, while you were in the military, and we're talking about your later years, after 25 years, you did some type of fitness every day?
Not every day.
Okay.
Yeah, not every day. Just because of the schedule and the time and stuff. So it's like trying to, you put all your time in at work. And again, I would leave to go to work by 5:30 every day, and then I wouldn't come home till 4 or 5. So then it's like, okay, then I got kids. When you got kids got to have activities. I got stuff I need to do at home, still cut grass, and just whatever. And sometimes it's like, okay, I'm fine. I don't have PT test for another 3 months, and that's when changed our PT test to all of the other things where now you got to try to train for some of those events. Then it was like, okay. But again, luckily, having the background that I had, I was used. I knew how to lift. I knew how, so a lot of that stuff was like, okay, I've done that stuff before. So, but yes, just didn't have. Just the time wasn't there, so it slacked off, gained some weight, and gaining weight and not eating properly or not drinking enough water and getting enough sleep. So it just it happens.
Yeah, that's a sad truth.
And not being able to do the organized PT, which I'd love doing organized PT whenever I was able to do it when I was in some of our field units and stuff. But not having that where it's not gonna say it's forced on you, but it's like it's really built into your
to make schedule. It an everyday thing.
Which is a great thing.
Absolutely.
So,
and that's the thing. It's a military trick, right? But not really a trick. You have physical training every day because you need to be in shape, and most people won't go as hard by themselves.
No.
And when you do the group training, it absolutely will help inspire you to try a little more, do a little more.
It's that camaraderie.
Absolutely, and competition.
Yep.
So for me, I'll go back to what I asked you. So my senior years, we're talking first sergeant and above. That's when your physical training adjust, and then do you adjust with it? Because you don't have the time to do as much and commit as much as you'd want to. So you have to. That's when you have to start figuring out how to make up that training time so that you don't fall back.
Right.
And also, that's when I was fighting a whole bunch of injuries because I'd never been on profile. I had surgery once, and I tore my Achilles, and I was on profile for 8 months. Right, so that's the one time I was really on profile. And as a leader, you're trained and you're expected, but not really told to fight through those injuries because you have to stay in the fight. Especially if you're leading soldiers. And that mindset is changing, just like the whole military is evolving. And that's a whole nother topic. But I will say this. The military has to evolve because life evolves. Don't ever forget that. And I say that because us old folks, we start to get in our upper ages, and we start to see the military evolve. And some of us take offense to that. How dare you? That's not the army I was in. And you got to remember, our fathers, we weren't in that army that they were in. So it's just one of those things that I had to learn for myself. So I'm not out here pointing fingers. And I had to learn while I was serving, because 30 years is plenty of time for the Army to evolve and go through some changes.
A few times.
And it's a fight to try to make sure that you're relevant and you understand the change, and you don't use your personal bias of how it used to be to lead the soldiers of the future. Because they are not. You're the past, they're the future. Anyway, my relationship with fitness and health changed drastically. Initially, after retirement, I was in the gym all the time. I was getting it because we told you we got that subscription and was getting it. And I was getting to the weight that I always thought I wanted to be. And I was working on my body fat, and I was a beast and for a few months. And I say that because then my body started, my back would go, my lower back would go out, my knee would start bothering me. And so it took a bunch of bumps, but then I had to start to realize that I can stay in the gym, I can still lift, but I just got to pull back. I don't have to.
That metabolism, your body, those things just aren't the same anymore,
that's
man.
Down the list. The first thing I had to adjust was my mindset. Because anytime I go to a gym and I see people, I have to compete, and that's just, once again, I know my mind's jacked up. But
you were better than me then. Let me tell you real quick. But I got a gym membership and was going to the gym with Miles, with my son. It's my 24-year-old son. And thinking, that's a little joke.
Little whippersnapper.
Yeah. So that he put some stuff up on the bar, up on the bench press bar, and I was like, who doing that? He did. He got on there, blew out some reps, and I was like, dude, I can't, dude. I said, take some weight off of it. I'm not doing that.
And for you young people, old man strength only comes out in emergencies.
When it's needed.
Exactly.
When we got to move a couch or a TV or
save a life.
Something. Yeah, something like that. That's when that was going to come out. But the weight strength, it's like, I can't, because I'm too afraid now of tearing a muscle or something. It just
completely
does it real quick now, real easy. So.
And that's that was my lesson, man. And the first thing I had to adjust was my mindset, understanding that the PT standards, the physical training standards, are not now the standard. I don't have to maintain that 2-mile time.
No.
Don't have to maintain that push-up thing.
No.
I had to adjust my mind so that I could adjust my routine. And it took us, so we built a home, so it took us 7-8 months before we could actually move into the home. And so I ended up building a gym, in our garage.
It's a nice gym.
So I was able to, but during that time, I was still in that competitive mindset. But then when I got here and got out of that atmosphere, I was able to slowly adjust. And like I said, me and him worked out, and we adjust based off of what we feel comfortable with, and then repetitions just to try to stay.
Ain't no judging either.
We're past
no judging here. Yeah.
So that was my big thing. Mindset first, then adjusting my routine, and then finding a routine that I didn't feel I was slowing down completely. Because growing old is a mother sucker.
All right. What physical or mental health challenges caught you off guard post-retirement?
So I discussed the one, but the physical challenge that caught me off guard is how easily you can tweak something. And once you tweak something, you're down. You know what I'm saying? It used to be if my hamstring was sore, I know I could still run, but at a certain pace and still be able to, look the part. But now that I'm retired, man, like my back go out. Shoot, I'm down
out for a few days.
I am down for a minute, and it's humbling, man.
Yeah,
it is humbling. Like my wife,
it's called acceptance.
It's hard, man. But my wife now will turn around and I'm about to move something in the house. She's like, "You sure you got that?"
Right. You know what? I get
look at her.
I get a. Why don't you? You don't want to call Tommie? Go call Tommie. I'm like, I'm good. I can do it myself. I don't need to call nobody.
I'm a man.
Yep.
So
and then it's like after sitting there limping,
after I calmed down, and you said you limping,
or I didn't move it 2 feet, and it's like, hey man, could you come over and help me move this real quick?
Yeah, boy. And the wife will humble you, boy.
Yep.
Because they're looking out for your concern, but you looking at it as a challenge, and then you don't want them to win, so you tweak your back. But when you see them, you walking straight,
it's like hurt,
like a machine. Oh boy! But anyway, that was my the mental and the physical are absolutely a surprise, and also. Like you were talking about metabolism, when I started to see myself gaining weight in areas that I had never put on weight, that's when I started getting scared, because I always, and yes, I said scared.
No, that's understandable. Because
I always thought I was in shape, you know what I'm saying? And I never, ever thought, I always thought I'd be an 80-year-old man in shape. And now I'm realizing that it's a fine line. If I just slow down just a little bit more, I'm not going to be that dude. I'm not going to be walking around with my shirt off at 80. Unless I get the mindset that a lot of I don't care. But that was tough for me. The physical part, understanding that reality. I know I was never invincible, but I sure felt like it, man. Yeah, and that's changed a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean it's same for me as far as like just knowing that I can't do everything, or like little things like the arthritis. It's for real out there, y'all. It's for real. That it comes. I mean, some days it's good, some days it's not. So those little pains and things like that are. Can make it real easy for you to go. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything. But. Getting through that, then for me, as far as mental, it's probably getting used to not being around people every day. Yeah. Not being, because I was real out walking, through my different areas and seeing people, talking to people, and to stop and everybody in my house is going to work. It's just me and the dog, and I'm talking to the talking to the dogs.
Like
yeah, and I sit there and be talking to myself sometimes, and my wife's like, "Who are you talking to?" It's like, "Oh, I'm good. It's fine." That piece of it, and not getting depressed about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I think I got through that.
Yeah.
Got through that piece of it, but just getting used to trying to keep myself motivated. Keep myself motivated, and knowing the importance of staying fit and being able to do the things that I want to do now, as far as being able to travel and enjoy it. And not be out there in a wheelchair or with oxygen on me, or something,
And that's the thing, man. And that's something I truly had to understand. It's not. I used to lift and go back to vanity, right? I used to stay so locked in because I was proud of the image I was portraying. I didn't even take into consideration doing it for me, and because of my health and all that stuff. It was just the thing. So, and now it's absolutely, I'm doing it because I don't want to be on the side of the road, and also I don't want to shorten the time that I now have to enjoy life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you said, travel and do things like
absolutely.
that. So, yeah, that mental thing is real in every aspect of life.
Yep, it is.
All right. So what routines or habits have helped you stay disciplined without the Army structure?
Okay. So mine, again, I was doing working out individually, by myself or with, early in in career, me and Audrey would work out, together, go around and do, do certain things. But just that piece of it, and then just, again, going back to doing athletics and things like that, and doing like in the,
You still wrestle?
Go back to in my mind, I do. In my mind, I'm bad. I'm a bad
I'm tearing it up.
But that wrestling, absolutely, because it's a team sport, but an individual sport, and a lot of the getting in shape and stuff, working out, you do really not in the practice room.
Right.
You're doing it. You're running. You're doing extra lifting and other things like that. So just I've kept that throughout the years. It's dwindled down to what I'm doing, but just being in that mindset. And then I always hear my wife in the background saying, "Don't get into your second or third trimester. You can be in your first trimester, but stay out of that second and third." So I'm trying to maintain that that piece.
Wives, I can't quit because my wife won't quit. So,
Sure,
but yeah, so the routines and habits of that I use are I don't put a clock on when I work out, but I do put a requirement for me to work out at a minimum of 4 times a week.
Okay.
The goal is Monday through Friday, but if I take a day off, I don't beat myself up like I used to.
Yep.
So that's the thing. And sometimes I lift at 8 in the morning. Or sometimes I'll go walking at 5 in the evening. It just depends on.
And that's hard
when
because
I
you
have
feel
time.
guilty.
Absolutely.
You make you feel. It's
Absolutely.
like, why am I feeling guilty
Absolutely.
about that? So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and that took something. And then the military structure, the individual working out, that is something that as a senior leader I got more used to.
I would think that y'all would have to do that because when you see a lot of the leaders, they're running around making sure folks are motivating and doing things like that, and not getting the workout, the same workout
that you're used to. So it's a lot, man. You end up waking up super early to get your PT in, your physical training in, and then going out and seeing what your soldiers are doing and trying to bring everybody together for like at least once a week or whatever. But it just depends on how it is.
Yep.
But the habits that I've picked up are, and this is, we'll talk about dieting. That's my biggest thing because probably about 3 years after I got out of the military. I was standing in the bathroom, right, in my bathroom with my shirt off. And I'm looking in the bathroom and I'm like, oh my God, somebody's behind me. So I turned around to look and see who's behind me, but there wasn't nobody behind me. It was the outline of who I used to be.
He said, it's an intruder. Yeah, it's me.
What? I'm sitting there like ready to go into full combatives mode. But anyway, yeah, it's like I was saying, when you start gaining that extra weight, something that you're never used to doing. My metabolism used to be so high that, and it wasn't that it was so high naturally. It was just I was always moving, always doing stuff, and just
acceptance and knowing that you're getting, and that you're getting older, and that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's the tough part. Yeah,
that's part of it.
And so dieting is something that I've taken on. I've gone to extreme diets, and it boils down to now is that I just have to pay attention to my portions.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Choices.
Yeah, I can still eat. I don't have any of the blood issues or the pressure and stuff like that. Blood pressure, excuse me. I don't know why I said it like that. Or the heart issues. I just literally just have to stop gobbling up everything.
I mean, that's with me being, and I found out I was diabetic the year before I got out. So it's choices.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I knew that, and I had been running from that disease because that runs in my family.
Right.
I don't say random,
Right.
Runs in my family. So
Well,
I've been running from it.
Yeah.
For years, trying to eat correctly, and but it got me, and it's choices, making good choices.
Yeah.
Good portion control, because it's like I don't want to deny myself of anything because I like food.
Absolutely.
I like sweets. So it's making sure that I'm not overdoing those things whenever I do them, but also making other permanent changes that help to
that you can stick to.
That
add to the health. I got you, and that's my thing.
All right, so how do you manage aging differently now that you slowed down physically?
It's tough. All this fitness, mental and physical fitness is tough, especially as we see ourselves one way. But
mind plays tricks on you.
It is, yeah. But to be honest, I was talking about wives earlier. They do hold you accountable.
Yep.
Right. And another thing that I'm used to now that I wasn't ever is sharing my state of fitness with my spouse, right? So, for instance, I just went to the doc 2 days ago for my annual checkup, and I just came home and started telling her, that stuff that I was never a big fan of doing, because you'd see the older veterans, and they're at their medical appointment with their wife sitting there. I'm just like, I'm a grown man. But now, she mentioned the other day, you don't come back and tell me stuff, I'm going to have to go start going with you.
Right, they need to know. They need to know.
Absolutely. So, aging is fine until you get to a point of where you're no longer what you remember yourself being. And that was hard for me. And I'm okay getting another year older, but I'm not okay looking at pictures in the past 2 years and seeing a difference now. That is stuff that I'm mentally having to deal with, and I'm not doing it on my own. I do have mental health checkups, and it's something. You just remember, you drive your whole life, and for a nice span of that time, you are at your peak.
for a long time.
Oh yeah,
you can maintain it for
absolutely.
a long time.
And then when I'm not going to call it a cliff because it don't happen overnight. You may think it does, but when you get to the top of that hill, when the crest and start going down, and you blink, and the next thing you know, you see differences in your pictures and stuff like that. Yeah. That's a real thing.
But I think staying active, keeping a routine, helps you to maintain a high level of fitness for whatever age you are.
Absolutely.
Like one of my wrestling coach from high school, real good friend, close friend, known for since I was born.
Okay.
But he's 70. What's 20? At least 74, 75.
Okay. Okay.
He has a routine where he goes through his neighborhood and he's throwing newspapers, or walking newspapers up to people's doors and trash cans, and doing classes in the little the community center and things like that. So he has something where he does, and he lifts a little bit still, but he's had like injuries, where he's had to have surgeries like every other year, but he continued. I mean, but he's in decent. You look at him, he's in decent shape. Yeah. It's like, okay, but he's like the Tin Man. He's broke, because he got artificial knees
and hips
and shoulders and hands and all of those good things. But I mean, I think getting into a good routine, and if you can maintain that.
So let me ask. I'm gonna say something, and then I'm gonna ask you a follow on. So, I'll ask the follow on now. How about that? So what would you tell younger Lance on his fitness then, and how to adjust it, or does he need to adjust what he was doing so that you won't be in the predicament you're in now? Because some stuff is just in your family blood.
It's just the big thing that folks don't realize is a huge part of any type of weight loss or health. Is just try to do better with the diet.
Yeah.
Do better with the diet. So then it's like when you get older, it's not like you're trying something new. Yeah. It's already been ingrained, because all of the other things, the cardiovascular, the lifting, I mean, I feel like I was doing that, but I mean, that diet piece of it is just like that can go up and down. Absolutely. Where you think that you're eating right for a week. Yeah. And then after that, you're back to, craziness. And then, because I sit there and I look at my son eat a medium pizza, whatever. I mean, like it's nothing, and go eat a cup, and he can do that and still maintain that, that nice physique, and, nothing is wrong. And if I did that stuff, I would be bloated and couldn't move.
Third trimester you're talking about.
I mean, so, yeah, man. I mean, I wish I would have done a better job in sticking with a diet. Yeah. I would have told, he was like, hey. But other than that, I'll say I'm happy with my post retirement.
Mm-hmm. So the only advice I'd give to the young me is you don't, like I said, I used to go all out, specifically when it came to fitness and lifting. I always wanted to be the strongest person in the room. I can see that. Always. And so when I used to go to the gym, I would try to lift to the point where I would make people stop. Mm-hmm. Right. And that, I know, once again, I have a mind problem. And like I said, a vanity problem. But so back then I would tell myself to make sure that I'm always using technique over muscle, right? Because I absolutely know that has, I've never had like real knee problems, but it's starting to happen now. And it's because of the squatting and the deadlifting, and the same thing with the running. There used to be a time to where I would just run as hard as I can, as far as I can, and just keep doing that to try to keep my run times down, so I could call cadence, right? And so I could not just call cadence, but call cadence for a long time, just be out there. But the more leadership responsibility I had, the less time I had to be that way. So I had to adjust. And then since you mentioned diet, I won't talk about that, but I will say this, and this is what I was going to say before, is for those that are in the military or you still feel like you're in your prime now, just admit, right, that won't be there forever. That way, when your body does start to change, it won't hit you as hard as some people do. It hit me pretty hard. Not because I didn't know it would change, because the thing about being away from home is when you come home, you leave with a snapshot of somebody. And then when you come back home, that snapshot has changed. And I'm talking about the aging process of everybody, but especially in your parents. And so I knew that aging was coming, but both of my parents aged gracefully when we're talking about the physical. And so I felt good about that. But then when you start hitting those, we'll call it tribulations, it's a mental hit, but you can prepare yourself for it. That's the bottom line. Just know that it's coming. You don't have to stop working out. Like Lance said, develop a routine for physical fitness as well as mental fitness as well as diet. You establish that routine, and it's a lot easier to maintain some sort of what you remember.
Yep, absolutely.
So we know that we strove to meet and exceed Army fitness standards for decades, because that's what we had to do. Lead from the front is something that is very seriously taken in the military. But now, after retirement or just aging period, you have to redefine what your standards of fitness are, and realize it just takes time to take care of yourself.
You got to.
And you have to.
You have to. Hey, because your health is your wealth, and it's never too late to invest in it.
True. This was 4 Titles, 1 Truth. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you listening to us talk about us getting old.
Hey, and y'all take care of yourself for real, doing that workout thing, because hey, it ain't no joke anymore. All right. Hey, so let's keep the conversation going, y'all. We'll talk to you next time.
All right. Holla.